Now that I'm on a different microphone, is that better? Nothing like a little behind the scenes conversation as we're going on. Which, can you hear me on the microphone? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hot Topics, 10 a.m. Eastern time, although it is 9 a.m. where I am in the New Orleans. And it is, I don't know, it's a little cloudy here, but still beautiful. I like cloudy days. I really do. I like every day, regardless of the weather conditions. I'm just happy to be alive and awake and able to share my days and my mornings with you. So thank you so much for joining us. We got a show here. It's Friday, by the way. So I guess there's a small reason to celebrate, even though, you know, our country's kind of in the shitter. Can I say that on a Friday morning? Where are you streaming from? What's going on with you? Let me know what's happening. Yeah. This is a effed up Friday, I will say. Hi, Sandrell. Good morning to you. Good morning, Candace Camden, TGIF, absolutely 100%. Jamilyn Rogers, I love cloudy days because it brings cool, sweet rain. Yes, I love the view. Yeah, isn't it gorgeous? It really is beautiful. So I'm glad you guys like the view. It is pretty gorgeous here. Oh, you know, and the river is right behind me. So we've had a time here in New Orleans. Good morning. You're early. What do you mean I'm early? It's 7 minutes after. I know everyone's like, Don, you are always, what do they call me? 10-ish. I'm on CP time, or Roger, I think it was. Good morning. Let me know where you guys are streaming from this morning. So I have a lot to talk to you about. And some of it is extremely, extremely concerning because we have been wondering here on the Don Lemon Show, does our Constitution even matter anymore? Is democracy over? I have been saying I believe we're in a dictatorship and I believe we're in a constitutional crisis here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. It affects the algorithm and people. It really does. I hate to keep harping on that, but it does make a difference. It's all about algorithms. They're like our Nielsen ratings, right? You know, the better the ratings, the more people get to see who you are, the more people become interested, the better it is for us because then we get to stay streaming, right? We get to pay our bills and stay on the air. So thank you so much for joining us. Like, thumbs up. Oh, and let me get the folks over on the TikTok. And also become a member. The membership link should be at the top of the chat. There should be a thing asking if you had thumbs up, a little poll. If you hit a question, if you've hit thumbs up. So make sure you do that and also subscribe. That's also very important for us, for our independence, our health as a company and as a channel. So thank you everyone for joining me this morning. I am in New Orleans. Where are you? Let me know. Okay, so could the Trump administration kidnap you in broad daylight? Could they really? That is a 100% serious question. And we all need to start asking that, regardless of if we are documented, undocumented, a natural citizen or whatever, we need to start asking that question. That is where we are in Trump's America right now. And it is a dire, dangerous time. And look, I think we all know that if people are doing bad things and they're committing crimes, everyone can agree that they should suffer the consequences. And if they're here, if they're undocumented, be removed from the country. This goes beyond that. Okay. So I think people being kidnapped, these are trial balloons, as we've been discussing with our producers. It certainly seems to be coming down the pike. And I want to explain why. Okay. Because on Tuesday, her name is Rümeysa Öztürk. She's a Turkish PhD student at Tufts University. She has a valid F1 visa. She was detained by immigrations and customs enforcement officials while on her way to meet with friends to break her Ramadan fast. Why? Why was she disappeared? Why was she effectively kidnapped in broad daylight? Öztürk co-authored an opinion essay in the student newspaper that demanded Tufts divest from companies tied to Israel. Okay, is this about Israel and your folks are not able to voice their opinions about Israel? Is it about something else? Was she actually, I don't know. We've seen no proof or no evidence from the folks who have been disappeared that they are affiliated with any terrorism organization. So, why is this happening? Ozturk is just the latest valid visa holder to be targeted by the Trump administration for supporting Palestine. Now, I'm in support of Palestine, I'm in support of Israel, I'm in support of everyone. I want everyone to be free and to live their lives as they want to live, acting upon the rules of the society and the foundation of where they live. It would be great if all of us lived in a democracy where everyone had a voice and everyone was able to voice their opinions. She's the latest valid visa holder to be targeted by the Trump administration for supporting Palestine. Earlier this month, Mahmoud Khalil, as we've been reporting, a graduate from Columbia University who participated in pro-Palestinian protests at the university, was unlawfully detained by ICE. They've given no proof that he has any solid, legitimate connection to terrorism or Hamas or anything like that. DHS has since detained at least 2 more international students with visas for their protesting of Israel's genocide in Gaza, a clear violation of the First Amendment rights. And also, this makeup artist, this young man, was also disappeared and was taken to a work camp, this sort of concentration or gulag camp. It's outrageous. And we're going to show you, we all should be worried, Sandra. You're right. This could be any of us. Honestly, it can be. And so you think, well, this will never happen to me because I'm an American citizen. That's not true. That is 100% not true. Now, I want to show you what happened with some of the folks. This is a Tufts graduate student, and it's tough to watch. Okay? A Tufts graduate student being detained by plainclothes ICE agents. Now, you don't know. Imagine you're walking down the street. These people just run up on you. You don't know. They're not in uniform. They're not showing you any ID. They're just saying, come with me. And they're doing it in the most forceful manner. Imagine if this was you, a loved one, a family member, a friend, a coworker. Here it is. Now, can you imagine that? As you saw in the video, the government hasn't filed any charges against her. And they haven't filed any charges against the some of the other folks who they have also detained. Are you scared? Are you frightened? Is this America? Someone in the chat says, oh, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Shame on these agents. Shame on these agents. Now, again, had she done something wrong? If she had broken the law? Okay. But she has not been charged with anything at all. And the government is refusing to give any proof of anything. A Turkish PhD student who it is believed from her family and her representatives that she was just detained because she wrote a paper that was pro-Palestinian paper. Now, what do you guys think of that? I believe we live in America. And in this country, we have rights. And there should be due process. And if you are a citizen in this country, whether you're on a visa or whatever, you should be due process. You should not just be thrown out because people don't like your opinions. That's what freedom of speech is really about. Freedom of speech is not, really not about being able to go on a social media site and call people the N-word. Freedom of speech is about having opinions that are not popular, but also being supported under the Constitution of the United States to be able to voice those opinions, whether they are popular or not, as long as they're not harmful, meaning they don't put people in physical danger or they're not threatening. And in some instances, even if you can argue that there's physical danger there, but still, some of this is protected under the Constitution. How can they detain without being charged? That's the whole point that I'm asking. The people who are committing treason against their Constitution, it is a dereliction of their duties to do that, what they're doing. It is, again, and showing absolutely no proof. Amanda Belcher says, I took my Free Palestine sticker off my car. Amanda, you should not have to do that. Now, I understand that you did, but you shouldn't have to do that because you're concerned that the government is going to do something or the state is going to do something because you have a Free Palestine sticker on your car. Just as people should not be if they have a Black Lives Matter sticker on their car, or if you have a MAGA sticker on your car. If you're a MAGA and you speak out against Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, you should not be gathered up by agents and taken without due process and no charges. Power Dynamics for Life believes the same thing that I believe, agrees with me. We're living in a dictatorship now, autocracy. It is frightening, 100% frightening. And now from this young lady, this tough student, to a former Columbia University student, a graduate, Columbia University, was a grad student, Mahmoud Khalil. His arrest that we have not shown you on the channel. Here it is.
You're going to be under arrest. So turn around.
Okay,
Stop
let's
resisting.
not.
Stop resisting.
Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone, okay? He's not, I understand, he's not resisting.
Put your arm
Like,
There's no need for this.
don't worry about it. You're going to have to come with us. Don't worry
I'm
about it.
coming with you, don't worry.
No one's resisting, no one's getting worked up.
you guys really don't need to be doing all of that.
It's fine, it's fine. Maybe it's fine.
حبيبي كيف بدي اتصل فيك؟
Take Amy. Call Amy. She'll be
Okay.
fine.
Hi, Amy. Yeah, they just like handcuffed him and took him. I don't know what to do. Okay. And what should I do? I don't know. Nor. Let me ask. Can we get a name, please? Can we get your name? I understand the lawyer is asking for your name.
Go over there. No, we don't give our names.
The lawyer's asking for your name. He's saying they don't give their names.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They'll be taken to immigration custody at 26 Federal Plaza.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They'll be taken to immigration custody at 26 Federal Plaza.
She said they're taking him to 26 Federal Plaza. Can you please specify what agency is taking him, please? Excuse me. They're not talking to me. I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. The lawyer would like to speak to somebody. Oh my God, they're literally like running away from me.
This is unbelievable. And again, if this young man did something, then show the evidence. And if you don't have any evidence, then you're in violation of the law and in violation of the Constitution. By the way, that was his wife, I believe, 8 months pregnant at the time. And you hear not even answering a question in a respectful manner to this young lady. All they had to say was, ma'am, we are taking him to whatever. If you need to get him, he's at 26 Federal Plaza. Instead, we don't give our names. She had to ask several times. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. So look, this may be news to some of you, but for those of us who are minority, especially men of color, this is how the police treat us all the time. All the time. Not every single police officer, but all the time. There's a difference between every time and a lot of the time. A lot of the time, law enforcement does the same thing to us. Why are you stopping me? I don't have to tell you. Get out of the car. For what? Get out of the car. Didn't you hear me? That's the same sort of treatment that these guys think that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to tell you anything. Someone said, why didn't they read them their rights? I don't know. I'm not an attorney. Why didn't they read them their rights? Why didn't they say something? Perhaps he's not being arrested. They're saying they're being detained and deported. But don't you think people at least have the right to say, sir, or Mr., whatever your name is, are you whatever? Yes, I am. You're being accused of anti-American terrorist activity, whatever it is, something like that, and you are being detained at this moment. When you get there, you're going to have an attorney or there will be whatever. But did you hear any of that? We see this most of the time, most of the larger culture, the folks in general, they see this happening in other countries and non-democratic countries. But it happens to many people of color in this country, that kind of treatment. And also, people without means as well, poor people, they treat poor people like shit. Poor white people, they treat them like shit too. But chances are, if you're a person of color, especially a man of color, especially a black man, I don't have to answer questions. Get out of the damn car. Did you hear me? Boy, get out of the car. And so basically that's what they're doing to these visa holders. And so his family, his wife didn't know, and his attorneys didn't know where he was for days. Finally, he ended up, they told him he was in, I think maybe gone to Guantanamo Bay. And then he ended up at a facility, an immigration facility, a detention facility in Jena, Louisiana. Jena, Louisiana is where he ended up. Those are two examples right there. And then there is the student. Not the student. Hold on one second. I have the other person. And then there is this young man who they have sent to basically a work camp, a gulag in El Salvador. He's from Venezuela. He came over to the United States upon entering, not long after entering the United States, he was detained. He is a makeup artist. They accused him of being a gang member because of his tattoos. Now, listen, you can't always judge a book by its cover, but I want you to take a close look at this report. This is from our friends over at the MSNBC, Rachel Maddow. And this is a report from his attorney and from Rachel Maddow. There are photos of him and there are pictures of him. And his name is Andre Hernandez, the first time that they are releasing his name and any information about it. So listen, if you're at home, wherever you are, please watch this very closely and tell me if you think this is a gang member. Here it is.
Immigration lawyer Lindsay Teslowski, quote, "Our client worked in the arts in Venezuela. He is LGBTQ. His tattoos are benign, but ICE submitted photos of his tattoos as evidence he is a gang member. His attorney planned to present evidence he is not, but he never got the chance because our client has been disappeared." Joining us now is Lindsay Teslowski. She's president of Immigrant Defenders Law Center. Ms. Teslowski, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So this is unusual, and correct me if I am wrong. I know that you have not previously identified your client when speaking to the press or when speaking publicly, but I understand that you want to share his first name and some photos with our viewers tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct. Names and identities of people have been shared today via list, and so we know that it is inevitable that our client will be identified, and we feel it's important to let the world know who Andrei, our client, is, because he is a human being. He is a young professional from Venezuela. He's a makeup artist. He is a gay man. He is someone who came to the United States seeking protection. He came seeking asylum. Upon entry into the United States, he was detained because of his tattoos, some of which you can see in those photos, but these are not the tattoos of somebody who is involved with gangs. These are normal tattoos that you would see on anybody at a coffee shop anywhere in the United States or Venezuela. And today, we have confirmation from the government, one of the few groups or attorneys that have confirmation that our client is indeed in El Salvador. Our client last week was supposed to appear in court where we would have started the process of refuting the baseless allegations against him, but we never got to have that chance. Our client has been forcibly removed and disappeared, and we don't know what his legal case, where it goes from here.
Do you know if he has any legal recourse at all? Do you have any means of contacting him, or do you have any means of trying to track one down if you don't have one now?
So the only reason we know that our client is in El Salvador is because he was supposed to be in court last Thursday. ICE never presented him. Over the ensuing days, we realized that he was likely part of this, group of planes that went to El Salvador. When we went to court on Monday, we were finally told by ICE that it was confirmed he was in El Salvador. In that moment, they said that he was removed to El Salvador. The immigration judge said, "How's it possible that he's been removed if there's no removal order?" And the ICE attorney that was in the courtroom said, "I don't know." The case has been set over, so we do have a hearing coming up in a couple weeks, but ICE has now told us that they will not facilitate communication with our client because he has, in their words, been removed, and that they will not make him available for that hearing in 2 weeks. So at this point, we are, of course,
I let that play out because I wanted you to see just the ridiculousness of this, that people cannot communicate, and that it appears that they have no rights. Why is he there? Well, we don't know. Can we communicate with him? No. They didn't even know where he was. And someone said, and I think dox all the agents in these videos. I don't know. Look, doxing is not legal for the most part, but I don't know if that would make a difference, because if you're trying to get these agents in trouble, then I believe the president would just, on a federal level, he would just pardon them, just exonerate them. We're in an autocracy, a dictatorship. And there doesn't seem to be much pushback or much recourse from anyone who is trying to get people to understand that you just can't gather people up without evidence. They have not presented any evidence. For all three of these people, the government has not presented any evidence that these people are a danger to American society, did anything illegal, or are members of a terroristic or gang group here in the United States or anywhere in the world. And they don't care. And I understand you guys, some people out there, and I don't mean you specifically, I mean the understood you, everyone. You may think, well, what's the big deal, Don? These aren't American citizens. They don't have the rights of American citizens. That's not true. Mahmoud Khalil has a hearing in federal court today. So we'll see. Now, I know this may not be sexy and, railing against Donald Trump, but this is a very important story. These people have basically been kidnapped in broad daylight or just in public without any recourse. They just took them away. And I don't think it's right. And then imagine, so this young man has been taken to El Salvador, which is where Kristi Noem went the other day for her photo op. They shave their heads. They put them in a holding cell, many of them in these inhumane conditions. And I don't know what they gained from showing the inside of these facilities, because then you see, well, why are we shipping people to inhumane conditions? Weren't they fleeing them in the first place? Some of them, I would imagine. And then maybe some of them are gang members. Okay. But not all of them are. And if they are, show the American people the evidence. And you want to show the American people the evidence, show the families the evidence, show the attorneys and their representatives the evidence. They're not even doing that. So imagine, they don't care about you either. And some of you probably voted for it. That's a sad thing. So this is a former governor, puppy killer, Kristi Noem, and her photo op at this facility day before yesterday. Now imagine one of these guys in this photo could be this makeup artist that they have. Just because he has tattoos, they've shaved his head and they put him in here. Here's Kristi Noem.
And visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists here and to incarcerate them and have consequences for the violence that they have perpetuated in our communities. I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people.
Now, bring our terrorists, she said. But again, where's the evidence that they're terrorists? And they're our terrorists? We own them? They're our terrorists. Now, I want you to think about this. How would these MAGA brain jerks, how would they feel if all of the January 6th folks were rounded up, put in one facility and put in conditions like that, and then a representative from Joe Biden's administration had showed up and did a photo op standing in front of the jail with these people saying, look at these January 6th terrorists, insurrectionists, anti-democratic folks. If you commit a crime like this, if you go into the Capitol and you break in, this is what you face. We can't deport them because they're American citizens. But boy, if it was within the law to deport these assholes, we would deport them. Look at these insurrectionist bastards. Now, what if they had done that? Imagine the outrage from the MAGA brain jerks. What would happen? Imagine the outrage from Donald Trump. These people are patriots, and it was a walk in the park. I'm just trying to show you the hypocrisy here and to present some logic to you that even the folks that were at the Capitol, who broke into the Capitol, who did something treasonous, we don't use them for photo ops. How many perp walks did you see with those people? How often were they paraded in front of cameras and videos were made of them in shackles? Did you see any of that? That's the difference between this administration, a normal administration, whether Republican or Democrat, who abides by our democracy, and the unlawful administration that we have now, the cruel administration. That is a difference between the two. This is John Lovett, excuse me, Tim Miller, our friends over at the Bulwark and also at Pod Save America, discussing what happened. And I want you to listen because it's a very important conversation. I think they're right on the money. Here it is.
Of cruelty and kind of chaotic incompetence, which you can know about and read about in history, and then you see it unfold in front of you and you see the way these things work together, right? Like, did they sweep this guy up because they're stupid dummies? Do they sweep this guy up because they're actually want to make sure that among this group of gang members that they send to El Salvador, that there are a few people who applied for asylum, a few refugees, a few green card holders, to scare the fucking shit out of anybody that might apply for asylum or claim refugee status, right? Probably. Or are they just so careless that even once they find out they make a mistake, nobody really owns fixing it because they don't really give a fuck what happens to people in their charge.
Or somebody just a sadist and didn't like this guy when they held him. Like, who knows?
Just doesn't believe people from Venezuela should be in our country, either consciously or subconsciously, just doesn't care what happens to these people. We just don't know. And it doesn't really matter, right? Because this guy's life has been destroyed by these people. He's trapped. He doesn't know, right, that there are lawyers fighting for his release. He doesn't know that his family has gone to the press. He doesn't know that there was a Time magazine story explaining all this. This is a place where you don't go outside. There's no visitation. There's nothing. That is a nightmare. And it could we are now heading towards the place where it could happen to any of us. And once again, that sounds like the kind of thing that will be seen as Trump derangement syndrome or hyperbolic. But if they can do this to people that applied legally, they're slowly marching towards doing this to citizens. They're already talking about wanting to denaturalize citizens.
Want to see more of this video? Head to the board.
Yeah. So they're right. And I believe that's where we're heading, these American citizens. And look, I know that, again, you guys are like, as John Lovett said there, that it may seem hyperbolic. It's like Trump derangement syndrome. It is not. And I keep trying to impress on you guys that this is not normal. I don't want to normalize these things. I'm only going to show you the things that are important and not the things that every single day when he goes into the Oval Office and he calls the press in and then he gives this little press conference and then he's a jerk to the press and then he goes away. Not that. And then he goes to play golf. Do not believe, if you believe that Donald Trump is working all day, you're an idiot. He comes in, he talks to the people, he says, all right, now bring the press in, brings them in, they do a little thing, and then he's out. And he goes to play golf, and he goes to have his cheeseburgers and his hamburgers, and then he goes to watch cable news, and he gets enraged, and then he goes and he, tweets or posts on the middle of the night, and then wake up, rinse, repeat, and then he does it again. He's not working. It's just a distraction, and it is an exercise in ego. Every single day, put in front of the cameras to see if I can make the markets move today. Let's see who I can scare. Let's see how I can own the libs. That's what's happening. In the meantime, your democracy is falling off of a cliff. The economy is falling off of a cliff. By the way, the Dow, I believe, is down again. It was 200 points when we started streaming. Producers let me know, and maybe hopefully it's back up. Because I don't want to see anybody lose, myself or anybody lose their retirement or whatever it is, their savings, their assets, anything.
It's down 500 points, Don.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
I am not.
Because of the tariffs, they're down 500 points. Cars, the price of cars could go up $10,000 to $15,000 shortly on average because of tariffs. Inflation, two key indicators that marked the possibility of inflation, they are up. That shows a higher inflation rate. Consumer spending is up, but not as high as they predicted it. They say incomes are up a bit, but people are pulling back on their spending, even if their incomes are rising. Inflation is coming. Inflation and also a possible recession. It's a sad, sad state. And I'm going to show you about how people effed around and found out. Okay, but let me just show you the hypocrisy in all of this. But first, this is attorney who defends Mahmoud Khalil, and then I'll show you the hypocrisy of it. This is a senior attorney for FIRE, defends Mahmoud Khalil. Here it is.
Idea that Mahmoud Khalil, one grad student at Columbia, is imperiling the foreign policy of the United States is absurd.
Connor Fitzpatrick is a senior attorney with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE. He believes the true reason that Khalil and other students are being targeted is because of their polarizing viewpoints.
Freedom of expression is hard. It requires listening to, tolerating, and even defending views that you or I might find completely repugnant, that make our blood boil. But the alternative is so much more dangerous.
And he's right. He's absolutely right. As I said in the beginning of this, when I started streaming, the beginning of the stream, that's what freedom of speech is for things that you disagree with, to be able to say, and for other people to be able to say things that you may disagree with, and for you to be able to say things that other people don't agree with, and also for you to be able to express yourself in the way that you want. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, First Amendment. A clear violation of the Constitution. Now, Marco Rubio, you guys know, he speaks out of both sides of his mouth, or more than both sides of his mouth. I don't know how many. Because this is what he said. I believe this is what he said about Mahmoud Khalil initially. And then I'm going to show you what he said about freedom of speech before. No, this is a tough student. This is what he said yesterday about the tough student.
A Turkish student in Boston was detained and handcuffed on the street by plainclothes agents. A year ago, she wrote an opinion piece about the Gaza war. Could you help us understand what the specific action she took led to her visa being revoked?
Yeah,
and what was your State Department's role in that process?
We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple. I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your universities to start a riot. I'm going to your universities to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen,
Okay,
I bet you're
enough.
gonna kick me out.
I've had enough. And that's bullshit. He knows. A little line Marco Rubio knows. And first of all, okay, let me just explain the hypocrisy in this, okay? Because remove, all right, that is a whole nother thing, right? When these people are students, like remember, most of these folks came in to the country, to the university, before the war in Israel and Gaza. There is not, I don't believe that there's a question that says, are you coming in to disrupt university campuses? And that's not a question on a visa or an immigration form. And most of them came in before. They would have to have some knowledge before that this was going to happen. So his entire fucking argument does not make sense. Because they'd have to see into the future in order to say, I'm coming here to do that for this specific purpose, when the event has not even happened yet. Now, just to show you the hypocrisy of Marco Rubio, this was him speaking about free speech. Take a seat and listen, turn up the volume. So that when I tell you people like Marco Rubio, and we're really all of them, J.D. Vance, who once called, Donald Trump, compared him to Hitler. all of them, Nikki Haley, all of them, that they will say anything to get elected. Anything. They do this. Which way's the wind blowing? And then they say it. This is Marco Rubio back in 2022. Watch. Free speech.
Every single person in this room and the overwhelming majority of people that you know are one word away. It didn't matter if you're 13 years old when you said it. You're one word, you're one statement, you're one retweet, you're one like away from destroying your life. There are kids in America that have had their admissions to a college revoked. There are now certain things that you're not allowed to say on a college campus.
Mr. Secretary, a Turkish student in Boston was detained and handcuffed on the street by plainclothes agents. A year ago, she wrote an opinion piece about the Gaza war. Could you help us understand what the specific action she took led to her visa being revoked?
Yeah,
And what was your State Department's role in that process?
We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist.
Now, I don't have to say it. Marco Rubio is saying for himself. Marco Rubio is showing you what a hypocrite he is. Marco Rubio is showing you that he will say anything in order to stay in power. He will even cozy up to the man who made fun of him, who came up with the nickname Lil Marco or Lying Marco, who talked so much shit about Donald Trump. All you have to do is just go back in the records and do a search, whatever search you use, Google, Yahoo, or whatever. Go back and look. The things that Marco Rubio said about Donald Trump and the things Donald Trump said about him, it is all transactional. And they don't care about you. And Marco Rubio, as an immigrant to this country, should have a little bit more empathy about, if not about immigrants, because some of them may be criminals, some of them may be, gang members, but about the immigration process. But it doesn't matter. If it's not politically expedient for Marco Rubio, and it does not serve Marco Rubio's professional and political ambitions well, then he'll say and do anything. Just like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will say and do anything to cozy up to power. Remember, he's the one who compared Donald Trump to Hitler and said that he was a terrible person, terrible human being, and that he should not be president or in the Oval Office ever. And then all of a sudden now he's cozy up. He's a vice president. And Marco Rubio now is taking a trip to Greenland so that we, meaning America and Donald Trump, can take that land back from the people, or take that land, I shouldn't say back, just take it, acquire it, annex it for America's purposes. Here's a report from ABC News.
American delegation led by Vice President J.D. Vance is heading to Greenland. President Trump insisting the U.S. will, quote, go as far as we have to go to gain control of the island. ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is there. And Terry, this has really become a high-stakes visit.
Yeah, this is a dramatic moment in the struggle for Greenland. Vice President Vance is going to be visiting a U.S. Space Force base in the far north of Greenland, but his message is much bigger. The administration is arguing that Greenland, which is part of Denmark, has been neglected by the Danes and by previous U.S. administrations, and Greenlanders would be better off under U.S. ownership. This is a wild land. It's rich in rare earth materials, and it sits along strategic sea lanes that are opening up from climate change, and Russia and China see that too. But right now, most Greenlanders reject Trump's goals. The foreign minister saying that if the vice president visits a town here, he'll be greeted by chants of Yankee go home. Whit.
All right, Terry Moran.
All right, there you go. ABC report. So now they're going to do that. They're going to try to take it. And they may be successful at it, as a matter of fact. I mean, don't be surprised if they're successful at it, because they are ramming everything through. I had Nina Turner on yesterday, and we basically said that there is no legislative branch right now. The legislative branch is now part of the executive branch, and they'll do whatever Donald Trump says. And the Democrats, I don't know what you're doing, but you may as well just go home and take a vacation, because y'all aren't doing anything. We're in now fuck around and find out territory, where it's not just the people who voted for Donald Trump. It's also the people who didn't vote for him. It's the people who sat at home. It's people who did voted third-party candidates. You effed around and found out, a lot of him. But a lot of the people who voted for Donald Trump did as well. Now, this is a woman. I'm not making fun of her, but damn. You found out. She voted for Donald Trump, and now she's jobless. And now she's going to be in the unemployment line with a whole lot of other people who voted for Donald Trump as well. Here she is.
My last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. This woman asked us not to show her face for fear of retribution. She recently retired from the Bureau of Fiscal Service because she was afraid of losing her health insurance if she was fired. She also voted for Trump.
Would you still have supported him?
I'm not sure that I would have. The way that it's been done, I'm for balancing the budget, that type of thing, but not in this context. It's just not right.
There you go. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? I said, look, hey, I don't want to make fun of anyone. I don't want to make the woman feel bad, but damn, she did fuck around and find out. And she voted for him. Will you vote for, no, I wouldn't vote for him. Oh, but it was the cost of eggs. Remember? Yeah. Eggs cost too much. Danita's right. Should have voted for Kamala, dummy. What did she think? He told her exactly what he was going to do. Nancy, that is the thing. He is doing exactly what he told them he was going to do, but they didn't believe it. They're like, oh, not me. He means somebody else. Oh, not me as an immigrant. He means other immigrants. Oh, not me as a farmer. He means those other farmers. Not me as a federal worker. He means those other federal workers. Because in my mind, I'm better than them. My performance is better. Look up the Dunning-Kruger. Look it up. When people think like it won't happen to me or I am better, they don't understand their own place and how much they know and how much they don't know. So they believed it. They believed it, and they still do believe it until it starts to until it starts to happen to them enough. They're going to go, wow, it is really tough for people to admit things, to admit when they are wrong, to admit to themselves that they did the wrong thing, that perhaps they don't understand and didn't understand enough when they voted, that they put themselves and their family and their loved ones in jeopardy of losing their job, losing their homes, losing their medical benefits, losing services that veterans need. Now, and were you happy with doing all of that? A lot of people did it because of unconscious bias and unconscious racism. They didn't understand. They didn't get it. They don't think that they are. They figure like, hey, look, those other people over there, they're taking our jobs. They're not as qualified as me. It's DEI. And that's why I am where I am. It's because of BLM and all this other shit. And then you realize, no, he doesn't give a shit about you. The man, as they say, doesn't give a shit about you either, unless you are one of those wealthy people who donates lots of money to him and can help him financially in the country and help the economy. I guess they believe in the stock market, which right now it looks like crap. Unless they're capitalists, he doesn't care about you at all. No matter how many rallies he goes to, no matter how many red hats you buy and wear, he doesn't give a shit about you at all. No matter how many times you go to Daytona and you ride around in the Beast, spending taxpayer money. No matter how many times you circle the Daytona Speedway in Air Force One, spending up taxpayers' money. No matter how many times you go to Mar-a-Lago, $3 million, I believe it's a weekend, and yet he's cutting jobs, but he's going on a vacation at his own place, and then he's paying himself back to stay there, to rent to the Secret Service and all the other staff that he is. He's charging them rent, reportedly. I believe he's charging them rent. And then you have to pay for all the services, the Secret Service and all that, for him to go to the Southern White House, as they call it. But yet he's taking your jobs. He's firing people. The economy is in the shitter. Prices are still up. There's some of them are coming down. Thanks, Joe Biden. And if you listen to all of the economists, all of them, except for the ones who are, MAGA folks, they will tell you, well, they try to hedge it because they can't really lie about the numbers, but all of the levers that Joe Biden put in place, it's all working. Everything that he put in place, the economy, the way the economy was going. And people don't believe it because they're just like, oh, it's Joe Biden. But just go look at the stats. Look at Steve, what's his name? Who's the guy that does the stats on MSNBC? When he just did a report this week talking about how all of the things that Joe Biden put in place right now, if we were just doing that, we would not be headed towards a recession right now. We would be coming out of that. Inflation was coming down. Inflation was coming down. And this is a person, he happens to be on MSNBC right now, but he's been on other stations. A nonpartisan economist. The numbers don't lie. You can't lie with the numbers. You can try to, fool people with them, but you can't lie about the numbers. Where's the stock market now? For those of you who don't believe, I hope it's back up.
It's down 557 points.
Steve Ratner is talking about. Thank you, Candace Camden. Thank you. It's down 557 points. Hi, MAGA. Hi, how y'all doing? The economy is in the shitter. People are being deported from the country illegally. Grandma may not get her Medicare and Medicaid, her Social Security. How you feeling about that? In the meantime, I'm talking to TikTok now. In the meantime, the rich people don't care. They're flying off to St. Bart's or taking a trip to Aspen for the weekend, and grandma has got to worry. How do you feel about that? You cool with it? These are facts. You fucked around and you found out. And you, even though you may not know yet, just give it a while. Come back and talk to me. When all of a sudden you're like, well, damn it. How do I keep making excuses for this ass? You put selfishness over your fellow man. That's what you did. You put selfishness over your fellow man. Many of you put whiteness over anything else, over democracy, over freedom of speech. You don't want to lose your place in society. Those other people over there, these women shouldn't be doing that. I'm talking about all this talk. They're saying that about white women. They shouldn't be. This is a man's job. Okay. And here we are. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much. I hope you learned today. I usually like to try to send you away with something funny. Do we have any funny things, something uplifting that we can give to the people before they run off for their weekend? And before I'm in New Orleans this weekend, I'm going to try to join you and show you some of the sights and scenes around New Orleans. We don't have anything happy, do we?
I can grab that
John
Cleese clip that you sent yesterday.
No, I'm talking about Steve Ratner, not Steve Kornacki. Someone in the. What'd you say?
I said
Which
I can
one?
grab that clip you sent last night.
Which one is it? By the way, so I went to something. You can grab it. Okay, yeah, you can send it. I don't know what you're saying because it's cutting out the service. But just so you know, I went to a dinner party last night, and these were the little parting gifts, and they're pralines from New Orleans. So let me see how it tastes. It's a little early to be eating such sugar. But if you can find that clip, we can try it. We can try it. Let's see what's up with the clip. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, that's good. I wish I had like some milk or something to wash that down. Holy smokes. This was after the book thing last night. Project 2025. Happy birthday, Gentle Storm, too. Happy birthday. Did you find the clip, Nikki? What is it? Oh, this is the one I sent last night. Let's see what it is. Let's see what Nikki's in the thing before we leave. Oh, yes. Yeah, let's play that one. This is good. This will make you happy before we leave. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. Also become a member. Like, subscribe. If you're following us, we're live on Instagram. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. And we're also, obviously, our big show is on YouTube. So if you want to see Full Frontal, come to us on YouTube. The subscribe button is right next to the Don Lemon Show logo on the right hand of your screen. And the membership link is at the top of the chat. And then I will leave you with this. Here it is.
If you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very...
The whole thing.
If you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Said Dunning. That's what it's called, Dunning, over at Cornell. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you back here for sure at 10 a.m. Oh no, back here at 5. What am I thinking? 5 o'clock. And we have our sour lemon of the week. We have so many. If you guys,
6 p.m.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. So I am in New Orleans. I have a book thing that I have to do at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Okay. And so 6 o'clock tonight, we're an hour later. So make sure you join us, and I'll be live from the book event at 6 o'clock Eastern, time. So join us. And then our sour lemon of the week. If you have some nominees, some names for us, can you please send them our way? Because there are lots of nominations. Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem is going to be on that list, don't you think, guys?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Kristi Noem and everyone in that Signal group chat.
Oh, we had the Signal group chat. Did we have them? No, we didn't have them last week, did we?
I don't think so.
Are we going to put all of them on the same thing? Or are we going to break them out? Yeah. So are we going to break them out in order of idiocy? I think we have to break them out. I think we got to break them out because not everybody participated as much as the other person. But we'll see. We may have so many more than we need. Okay. All right, guys. Again, thank you for supporting us. Become a member, subscribe, and then we will see you back here at 6 p.m. Eastern for our Sour Lemon of the Week special. And maybe we'll have a couple cocktails. Maybe we'll have tequila or something, a margarita, whatever. Bring a drink, bring some wine, and we'll hang. Okay? So, as I say every time, you guys know what I say. What do I say? When I log off, I want to see it before I leave. Thank you. Why? Man, TikTok is so much faster than the YouTube. Oh, Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi's going to be in there, I do believe. Pete Hegseth, yes, will be in there. Thank you. So turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. you'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your